Hi everyone, in this tutorial I'm gonna walk you through the new creation menu and some of the features of it. You need to go to edit, plugins and search for the ForestTools. You're gonna need to activate this and restart the engine. Then you're gonna see the new creation menu. Now in here you can open up the documentation. In this new plugin version of the ForestTools, you have the new button over here which has all the creation tools of the ForestTool that you're gonna ever need. It's a pretty intuitive method of creating stuff right away. You can just create and drag and drop any asset into the world, let's say as a static mesh. That's about it. So you can create all sorts of stuff in here, just drag and drop them. You can run the forest manager from here. It's already open, but yeah. There's also a new creation tool, which is really just an easy way to spawn things into the world. Like, let's say I'm gonna go to this black alder tree, I'm gonna add them to the source meshes. Then I'm gonna pick some preset, let's say the forest lines. I'm gonna pick the landscape, select the landscape in the viewport, and I'm just gonna click create the forest object. And there you have it, folks. So now these preset categories like landscape, static meshes and splines are gonna work with any type of mesh that you select in here. Those are just indication of for the sampling. So let's say the landscape presets all have a pretty low sampling of 0.03 because landscapes are usually have a lot of space that you need to fill in, and like having the sampling of 1, 2, 5, 10 is gonna be an overkill for the landscape. However, for the spline, if I'm just gonna pick the spline, I'm gonna go with this preset. You can see that the sampling here is 0.05, and if I'm gonna go with the same spline and pick, let's say, these hedges, it's gonna get a lot denser because hedges are usually quite dense. You're gonna see it right away over here. Yeah, but it's not really filled with hedges, but it's filled with same trees, and you can see that the sampling here is 50. And if you're gonna have 50 sampling on the landscape, it's gonna be a literal overkill. So yeah, those are just the indication of like the global sampling and where you probably should prioritize using them. So the landscape on the landscapes, the static mesh on static meshes, and splines on splines, but they are interchangeable, so you can use the spline on the landscape preset on the static mesh. What it does under the hood is it looks through your selection in the viewport, figures out what this type of object is, places the forest tools into this scene, and sets the mode to your selection. So if you have a landscape, the scattering mode is gonna be landscape. If you have a spline, it's gonna be spline. Now the only thing about it that's worth keeping in mind is that if you select in the viewport a static mesh, a spline and a landscape at the same time and click create forest object, it'll create an object based on your first selection. So if you selected the spline first, then the static mesh and then the landscape, it'll create an object for the spline. It will not create the object, the scattering point on landscape or on static mesh. Only the first entry is gonna be considered. So yeah, this is about the scatter tool. And last but not least about the creation menu is that you have this new sync plugin content. If you press this button, what it'll do is that it'll bring all the essentials from the plugin content into your projects folder. So as you can see, it created the ForestTools. Here you have like the basic forest groups, forest spline, forest tool, GPU, spline manipulator, manager. You have the FT packs and textures. If you don't want this to be in your content folder, you can just delete this. And if you want to see the content of the full plugin, you just go in here, you search for the plugin content, you go to plugins, the forest tools, there are C++ classes and the regular forest tool. In here you have your regular stuff like you used to see in the forest tool. So in levels, there are a couple of new levels in here. And yeah, so that's the gist of it. Hope you enjoyed the new update, and see you next time.